Today I am here to announce that Judge Charlene Olmedo held David Anthony Burke, who goes by the name David spelled D4VT, to answer for the horrific and barbaric killing of a 14-year-old at the time, Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
That's DA Nathan Hochman out of L.A. talking.
She sent him a text message that could get her killed. Then he made sure it did. That's not speculation. That's what prosecutors just told a judge in a courtroom, under oath, with the text messages up on the screen for everyone to see. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was 14 years old. Well, she was 14 when she died. She started this relationship at 12, and she never made it to 15. I need you to stay with me here, because this case just took a turn that almost nobody saw coming. Her name was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and for months we knew the outline of her story, a relationship that started when she was a child. A man named David Anthony Burke. You might know him by his stage name, D4.
Year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, we know her dismembered, decomposed remains were found in a Tesla out in an LA tow yard back in September of 2025. A Tesla
towed into an LA impound lot with her dismembered remains hidden inside it. That part of the story, everybody's heard. But here's the part nobody talks about. In the final days before she died, Celeste wasn't just a victim. She was fighting back. And that fight, the way she fought back, is now sitting at the center of a murder case that could end in the death penalty.
And they presented select text messages from hundreds, thousands of messages between the two during these 2 or 3 nights. And they were meant to basically just establish time, location, the two of them arguing, the two of them coordinating when and where to meet up, the two of them deciding on a pickup location for the Uber, and then Celeste alerting David when she apparently got to his home just after 10 o'clock in the evening.
She texted Burke that she'd arrived just after 10 o'clock at night. She was never heard from again. Her remains weren't found until September. Chopped up. Left in the front trunk of his car. Discovered by accident when the vehicle got towed. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because in the week before she died, Celeste wasn't quiet. She was angry. And in text messages just read aloud in that courtroom, for the first time, we heard exactly why. She'd seen posts online. Burke with another woman. An influencer named Asia Collins. And Celeste came apart. She told him she'd ruin his career. She told him she'd call his mother.
This is where we actually saw text messages from Celeste to David threatening him. Let me paraphrase for you some of this. In those messages that were shown to the court, that Detective Farrell read to us, Celeste tells David that she's going to ruin his career. She tells him that she's going to tell her father lies about him. She tells him that she has contact information for his business associates, and for his mother, she tells him that she's going to call his mother, Colleen Burke, and tell her damaging information about David. Now, we previously have not seen these messages.
She told him she had material, evidence, and she was ready to use it. Prosecutors say that's exactly why he killed her. Not in a rage, not in a moment. They're arguing he lured her to that house knowing what she had on him, knowing what she was threatening to do with it. Lying in wait, they call it, legally. Murder for financial gain. To protect the career, the image, the
Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She has held him to answer for first-degree murder with the special circumstances of lying in wait, doing this crime for financial gain, and murdering a witness to an investigation.
Murder of a witness, because what she knew about him was a crime in itself. 3 special circumstances, All three make this a death penalty case. But, and I have to be honest with you about this part, the defense didn't stay quiet either. And what they brought up in that courtroom should make you uncomfortable, no matter what you already believe about David Burke. There's no surveillance footage. None. Not of Celeste going into that house, not of Burke. The system that would have recorded it, police say, simply overwrote itself before anyone thought to save the file. Convenient. Or just bureaucratic failure. Nobody in that courtroom could tell you which. There's an Uber driver who picked her up that night and delivered her to Burke's door. When police finally tracked him down, he told them he doesn't remember the ride. Doesn't remember her. Can't confirm the drop-off time.
Came up today in court. Apparently, LAPD did interview that Uber driver, and he denies having any recollection of that trip. He cannot definitively confirm that he dropped her off at that time, just after 10 p.m. that night, and he does not remember picking her up or driving her there. That is
a man who may be the last person to have seen her alive, and he says he can't recall it at all. And the medical examiner, under oath, admitted he can't say how long it took Celeste to die from her injuries. Minutes? Maybe an hour.
That's right. I mean, he testified the other day, either one of those two penetrating wounds that they attributed her death to, either one could kill somebody in, quote, minutes to an hour. That is a pretty wide window of time. And he simply can't say, and that's because of the advanced state of decomposition. She may have been dead for weeks to months before her body was found.
He can't even confirm which wound came first. Her body had decomposed too much by the time it was found. That's not nothing. Those are real gaps. And the defense is already laying the groundwork for something most people didn't expect. A self-defense argument. That somewhere in this story, they intend to argue Celeste was the danger. I'll be honest with you, that one's hard for me to sit with. A 13-year-old girl threatening the only kind of leverage a child in that situation has left. And now that same fear and anger is being used to build his defense. I don't know how a courtroom is supposed to hold both of those truths at once. Maybe you can't. The judge didn't buy all of it. She struck the claims of physical assault from the record this morning, reminding everyone in that room, Celeste is the victim here. She is not the one on trial.
This is what came out of court. The judge found that there is sufficient cause to believe the defendant is guilty and to move this trial on all three counts, talking about how such a low standard it is. The judge reminded this is an exceedingly low standard, sufficient cause to hold someone to answer, again, probable cause. Apparently, David was staring straight ahead at the judge with his arms folded in front of him as she was reading this case, the law notes, court decisions. So yes, the judge found that there's sufficient probable cause. This is going to move forward. And it appears that an arraignment on these charges is going to be held on Monday, August 31st at 8:30 a.m. Bail has been denied.
And she wasn't. The judge found probable cause on all three charges. Bail denied. Arraignment August 31st. A trial could come as early as 60 days from now, and prosecutors say what came out this week was only a small fraction of what they're holding back for it. So here's where this leaves us. A 12-year-old girl becomes a victim. A 13-year-old girl fights back the only way she knows how. A 14-year-old girl never makes it to 15. And a system that's supposed to protect kids like her is now going to spend a trial arguing over camera footage that mysteriously doesn't exist. And a driver who mysteriously can't remember. What do you think happened to that footage? And who do you think benefits the most from it being gone? Tell me in the comments, because this is far from over.